BUL Armory Ultralight Pro, the I guess you could say gamified, but the ported, and I've even got a red dot on it this time, version of my summer carry, the BUL Armory Ultralight. Coming up next, you'll see my absolute first shots through the gun, do full magazine +1, see how it runs fully stuffed, take it to the trademark What's for Dinner table to see what it eats, the spinner for sights and trigger control with the O-sight. Yes, that's right, folks. I'm going to try an O-sight. Then we'll do some practical accuracy, and I'll give you my concluding thoughts coming up next on Now these first shots are going to be a bit different. Why? Well, because I've got a dot on it. You saw on the tabletop how the gun came equipped. I was going to have to either mount and zero the iron or mount and zero a dot. You guys always ask for dots. I had one of these O-sights in, so I figured I'd give it a try. So since I have to zero, if I started shooting and the thing was already zeroed, you'd know those weren't first shots. That'd be fake. Something to watch out for when you watch YouTube videos. Anyways, my range ammo, thanks to Ammo Squared, is some PMC 124 FMJ. I'm hoping it's truly FMJ and not plated. One of the cautions with ported barrels is if you have if you have plated ammunition, not FMJ, the ports can shear off some of the plating. Worst case, that causes bits of copper to come projected in random directions. Best case, you end up with accuracy issues. I don't know if PMC is plated or not. What's for Dinner will also be interesting because we have one suspected plated round in there, so we'll see how that goes. Doing it for science, doing it for you guys, but one of the things that unfortunately as ports came back into popularity that a lot of the influencer types didn't seem to remember or know about from 20 years ago, the last time ports were a big thing, is that risk with plated bullets. I think I got kind of a rough zero on this at home. Let's see how zeroed we are. And if you're wondering about the different target, it was raining when I left the house this morning, and I finally got some Right and Rain targets, which of course are highly, highly water resistant, if not totally waterproof. So I was like, this would be a great time to use those. I get out here and as you can see, beautiful sunny day. It's the way things are. First shot. Whew, that was loud and I felt some percussion. A little bit low right. Let's see if it was me or the zero. Definitely the zero. Tell you, when you've got a short barrel that is close to your face, you definitely feel it. I was feeling it in the, I was feeling the impact on the brim of my hat. Looks like I need more left. I hope you guys are able to see how soft it's shooting though. It's really a comfy shooter. Touch more left. This will also be interesting using a dot and seeing if we have notable point of impact shifts in What's for Dinner. I can't see where I'm hitting. Let's give it more left and a touch more up. See if that makes this shot show. That got us left for sure. Certainly accurate. I don't know if this O-sight is shifting zero properly or if that is shooter error or if the ammo is plated. I'm gonna aim at another bullseye. Okay, that got us definitely more left. We need to go some more up and bring it back right a little bit. A few more rounds just to verify and then we can proceed. Last 3 shots, then we'll call it good. More up, more right. If you're wondering how I'm knowing how many clicks to do, I don't. There we go. I call that good. All right, let's get on with the main review. As far as first shots experience, really soft shooting. Most of your subcompact, microcompact, once you get under like 3.5 inches of barrel, starts to get snappy. The original ultralight was not. It shocked me with that. That's what convinced me to make it my summer carry. I then moved on to the newer model of ultralight because I didn't want to risk, you know, if you use in a defensive fight, you lose your gun. I don't want to risk losing that cool fluted barrel action. So even today, so here's the gun I'm reviewing. Here's my summer carry gun that's on my hip. Having the ports on here makes it silly soft so far. I'm really enjoying it. I am feeling a little bit of brush on the brim of my hat, but it's ported. That's what you get. And 30 paces back from an A-zone piece of steel, thanks to Thor Targets, it's time for full magazine +1. We'll also see how that 7-yard zero works for 30 yards with 124 grain coming out of this 3¼ inch barrel that is also ported. I do plan on doing a side-by-side comparison of this and the regular. I want to do chrono and put it on AccuShoot as well and get some real numbers behind the two. For now, just a conventional review. Magazine did not fully insert. That is a user failure, not a gun failure. Not a bad hit ratio for an A-zone 30 yards. I'll take that. Follow-ups were much quicker than they would be, of course, on most guns, thanks to that port pushing the nose right back down, which helped me follow the dot, which made dot shooting even easier. I've professed many times my thoughts on dots, but a big reason why I'm not huge on them and don't really take the same advantage many of you can is I'm actually left-handed and left-eye dominant. I shoot right because that's the way guns come, and I've taught myself well enough how to shoot right-handed, but being cross-eye dominant, dots end up being an issue. But A-zone 30 yards, I missed, I don't know how many times, maybe 3, at a decent cadence of shot. Pretty good. Let's see what it eats and what's for dinner. And the crowd favorite, what's for dinner time? This time, possible largely in part due to Widners. I was able to reload 90 grain up through 165 grain with almost all of these coming out of Widners. As I roll past these, you'll notice we've got different bullet weights, different bullet profiles, the ogive in different location. These are all going to create different feeding scenarios and different recoil impulses. We're looking to see, will it feed from side lock, cycle another round of the same type, and will it lock open on empty. The third round is to reduce variables. If you want to see a full mag of this stuff, check the pinned comment. I will give you sources where I can find them, but I can tell you right now, most of it was from Widners. That's great thanks to them. 7 yards back from some 2-inch squares, thanks to those right and rain targets. Because, as I said, I was ready for rain today, not for beautiful sunshine. Anyways, starting off with a 90 grain Underwood. This is not the Plus P. Definitely not plated. No issue cycling. Now the 95 grain MagTech jacketed soft point. These are a short snubby one. Oh, definitely some fire coming out. And percussion off of those. 100 grain Blazer reduced recoil. Now Blazer brass is generally known as a plated bullet. Bad idea in ported guns. I do not know if this 100 grain is. So if we have a terrible accident, it'll all be right here on camera. Fingers crossed for me. Definitely soft shooting. Very soft shooting. I still don't know if it's plated or not. Not recommending that stuff. Just letting you know it exists, and it did cycle in this gun. That's a risk that I don't want to be responsible for you taking. Top off our 3 mags. I'm curious during those lulls while I top off the mags, what you guys think about ported guns. Is it a concern for you in carry? And as you answer that, let me know if you saw the important topic video that I did. I'm not sure if that was on this channel or the second channel. Our 4th circle SIG 365 115 grain. This is meant for short barrels. Definitely an increase in recoil over the reduced recoil. But not terribly flashy. Now, Hornady American Gunner 124 grain plus P. This is probably going to be flashy. Keep in mind, plus P ammo is meant for compensating for a barrel shorter than it should be. In the case of 9mm and American ammo, that means a 4-inch barrel. We've got a 3 1/4, so this is appropriate. See if these ports keep the nose down. Another thing is with ported guns, typically the gassier the ammo is, the more effective the ports are. So it's kind of the opposite of what you'd expect. Regular non-ported gun, you want less gas stuff that generally shoots softer, like your heavier loads. So this will be an interesting one. Definitely spicier. But man, it pushed me right back on target. Those were easy follow-ups. Next, we have a crowd favorite, the Hornady Tactical, Federal Premium Tactical, Federal Premium Law Enforcement Tactical HST, 124 grain. The law enforcement version, it just has sealed primers and comes in a 50-round box. Punchier. Smells a little bit like, and it's going to be a weird moment, when you smash ants. You know that smell that they produce? Anyone else ever pick that up? Maybe it's a Northwest ant thing. I don't know. But the ants up here, when you get on them, they make a little smell. That's kind of what that smelled like through there. Another reload. And we had a piece of brass knock some of my rounds off the table, which is really obnoxious. Very rude. The Pimic Cifix PMC SFX 124 grain. Nice. Hornady Critical Duty 135 grain. This is not the plus P stuff. Longer bullet. Oh, it is spicier though. Didn't group as well. Winchester Defense 147 grain, 50-round box of hollow points. Winchester ammo tends to be spicier, but 147s tend to be softer. Not bad. Smells a bit like a barbecue. That's America right there. And our heaviest load is the Ammo Incorporated Stolth 165 grain, meant for suppressors, really long, heavy bullet, usually very soft shooting. Yep. And sounds different. That tells you how much of the sound is the ports versus the actual gun. But it shot pretty well, so no issues cycling and no random fragging happening from plated bullets, which is nice. Accuracy, pretty good with some loads, not so great with other loads. Maybe those were the plated ones, who knows. Nice blackening of the barrel from those ports doing their job. Now let's head over the spinner and see how it works for sights and trigger control. We are about 13 yards back from a 6-inch spinner target. Use this target for sights and trigger control because it's a small target that moves when you hit it. So it requires precise aiming and timing the shots, especially if you want to be able to get the spinner to go over the top. You got to time your shot with the spinner moving away from you. Got 8 rounds, that same PMC bronze 124 grain. A thought I just had that I hadn't previously mentioned is that this is also a recoil control. That also doubles as recoil control because getting back on target is not just sights, but it's also how well you control the recoil, which, as you saw there, was very easy with this thing, with those ports keeping the nose down and this Holosun S, Osite S red dot. It turns out the outer circle is about the same diameter as that 6-inch spinner, which meant all I had to do was bracket that and keep it centered and keep it hammering. Very easy to do. As suspected, this is kind of a cheat mode little gun. Practical accuracy is typically done on a 1-inch square from 7 yards. With this target, however, we've got 1-inch grids at 7 yards. Got 5 rounds of that same PMC bronze 124 grain. Let's see how we do. One still in the chamber from the spinner because this gun was just efficient. This is practical accuracy and when I gather my thoughts. Not bad at all. I already knew that the BUL Armory Ultralight was somewhat cheat mode of small gun. You get something small and lightweight that's easy for carry that also shoots really well and handles, and I know this has become cliche, but it handles more like a bigger gun. When you throw the ports on there and an easy to track red dot like this Osite S has been, you end up with, well, one heck of a little gun. I am really, really impressed. When BUL Armory talked to me about this gun, I said, you know, I'm not big on ports for carry. I'm not big on ports, period. I just feel they don't need them. They said, yeah, we get it. We've heard that. Try it anyways. Give it a go. And so I did, because BUL Armory has yet to disappoint me with anything. And sure enough, this is a great shooting little gun. Now, about ports for carry, that's still a personal decision. I highly recommend you check out that video I did discussing some of the major points about that. But man, for a little gun that is a cheat mode little gun, this definitely fits it. Those ports worked, and those last 5 shots, I didn't feel the impact on the brim of my hat. The same thing happened to me recently on another ported gun during review, and I don't know if that's a matter of getting used to it or the hat just adjusting to a point that it no longer hits. Probably a little bit of both. If you're going to be shooting at an outdoor open range like this, I've got no problem with ports. I totally understand. And this thing, freaking amazing, as I should have known, as I should have expected. But the journalistic way, the fair way to do reviews is to apply the same protocol to everything, and that's the way we do things here at GBGuns, and that's what we did today. And it did not let me down. It especially liked that 90 grain, which is interesting. So in my summer carry, I carry the Liberty Ammunition Civil Defense 50 grainers, which do really well out of this 3 1/4 inch barrel, print very nicely. I demoed it, but at $2 a round, I don't really feel like burning $10 more in ammo for this, but I think I've put that on camera before. I found that load didn't like the 4 1/4 inch, so an interesting blend of science. Just if you guys weren't tracking on this, the key to energy with projectiles is generally speed, and that usually comes with lighter loads. There was a commenter this morning as I got up and was getting ready to head out to the range today, that was asking about which 147 grain load for a little 3-inch gun, and I've got an article on that over at the depot. I compared the same ammo through different barrel lengths and computed the energy. And the whole point of taking a shot is to transfer energy, right? It's just like throwing a rock, is a distance form of punching. And thanks to technology, we have bullets which can throw rocks farther and faster. So long as the projectile is designed to perform at the velocity that it's going to hit the target with, you want to hit as hard as possible. Especially with the hollow points, the harder you hit, the more the hollow point's going to open up. You do run the risk of it over expanding and not penetrating as deeply, but if it over expands, it's also making a bigger hole. So is that really a problem in self-defense? Anyways, on short-barreled guns, if you're going under 4 inches, well, just in general, try to go as light a bullet weight as possible, and you will get more energy out of them in general. And this particular gun also seemed to like the 90 grain the most. So it's a double win in my book, at least from this trial of 1 box of ammo, 1 group. As always, test things for yourself at home. I'm just giving you my quasi-educated, but definitely experienced opinion. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you to our Patreon supporters. GBGuns and I do 2 level. Derek S. Jr., Joseph T. Al G. Peter A. Tom Scott King. Rodley Rich. Moises S. Fast Eddie. Talatron 1-5 Marvin T. David F. Donald H. Jenna I. Brad K. Thanks for the tip, lover. Be happy to Christopher J. David B. Andrew B. Gordley H. J.S. Fallen in. Brad Fawns, Michael W. David G. Robert B. Ohio. Swarthmore, Briscoe County Jar. Brian K. Red Sky. Waha Edward C. Johnny Uncle Munzie, Mrs. Doodle Punk, Mount Stewart E, Justin H. Summer G, keeping things on its level, Gary B. Brad M, George H. Daniel D, Upton Level York, Adrian H. Mark S, Edit P, Gary C, J. E. Logan G, RBMD 2022 Ed Gilby, Ronzi Mike, NC Tech.